Okay, so as you guys previously saw, my last game with chess with this person did not exactly go according to plan. And I ended up meeting a rather humiliating and rather swift defeat at the hands of them when I made a ridiculous series of blunders and mistakes. However, I had the fortune of getting a rematch with this person, and things turned out rather differently. So they started out going first because they're white. They do a basic opening like king's pawn. I decide to go like a different route, trying to develop my queen early, and they respond with a move I admittedly should have expected, but did not really think about at the time, which easily develops the bishop. So I simply moved that piece right there. I think I was trying to bait their bishop into taking my pawn, which of course they didn't fall for that. So then I contemplate developing my queen a little bit before deciding to do so and putting it on a route where it pretty much cannot really do anything at the moment, but I had ideas for the future. I'm really just trying to carefully weigh my options and not make any blunders. And so with that move handled, now I just have to wait for white's move, and they respond by doing a move that opens up their queen a little bit on, well, my right. And I decide that I'm gonna try and I actually with the knight. I thought I'm gonna try and develop my knight with hopes of infiltrating the back in due time. And my opponents take a little bit of time to think. They take a lot of time to think, actually. That's consistent. Before they finally, after a good few seconds of thinking, finally decide to go with a knight developing move. I just move a pawn up one piece because I don't want it to get taken so early, and that allows me to develop my bishop. Now, most people would contemplate okay, so now I'm able to develop my bishop, eat the pawn, and I'm threatening the knight. Now, personally, I'm not actually open to that trade yet because I want to keep my bishop, but my hesitation kind of cost me, and I'm forced to just completely backpedal on my bishop and lose all development of it. So yeah, hesitation, not good idea. Live and learn. So yeah, now that I've done that and erased all my bishop's progress, my opponent gets to make another move. And after yet more time thinking it through, they decide to go for a bishop move, which they can't really attack my rook yet because there's obviously the pawn in it, and it'll get taken by my bishop. And I'm just really trying to figure it out. I try and develop my knight, knowing that they won't take, because that would just immediately get their bishop taken, and I figure, hey, if I wouldn't have done it, maybe they won't either. So yeah, my opponent thinks this through. They really put a lot on this one. And after a few more seconds of waiting, and waiting, they decide to castle. Which is annoying because it actually gets a bit of progress. I decide to sacrifice my knights to get rid of their knights in a trade. And at that point, I'm just I forget exactly what I was going for. I am just really trying to figure out what exactly would be the best move here. I contemplate moving the queen, I contemplate doing a trade of pawns, and in the end, I decide I'm just going to go for some quick and easy development. Hoping to set up a fork a few moves down the line, but yeah, after that move, my knight hadn't really done much, but I can keep moving it forward. because the queen is blocked and it's not going to be able to take. So yeah, he just moves his pawn down a little bit. And I continue on with my knight developing. Like that middle. 1 second. Yeah, no, I can already see that safe square that's going to fork the queen and bishop, and I'm just really hoping I can get there before my opponent catches on. And the opponent catches on enough to move his queen out of danger, which is infuriating, but he doesn't really have much he can do because, like, yes, he can get his bishop out of danger, but at that point, I just take the pawn, and then I'm forking king and queen, and that's just all bad. So, yeah, my opponent's really thinking this through because, like, it's kind of just going downhill a bit for him. Now, there are a couple of things that could be attempted, I'm pretty sure, looking at this position, but yeah, no, like, like, he completely, like, just ignores what I was doing, and at this point, I take the bishop, and obviously, I expect my knight to perish valiantly, which he does, but that allows me to get my queen in a position that I consider to be a bit more optimal, and at this point, my opponent is probably getting really annoyed with how far I've been, like, developing everything and how far I've actually managed to get my pieces. So they immediately begin to move their queen forward somewhat aggressively. I don't. Now, what I'm about to do is I'm about to try and, like, push him, like, away from the, because I have the pawn protecting pawn, obviously. The queen moves backwards just as planned. And at this point, I'm playing a battering ram with my bishop and queen to try and infiltrate. Like, if I'm lucky, I can get a trade going with the queen taking bishop before getting taken by my queen. And I'm just, like, it's not the best position, but it's a decent one. And at this point, I notice my opponent's getting really low on time. I have 5 minutes and he has 2. So I'm just really, like, questioning, like, what is the best move here, like, to take advantage of this. And I just keep moving my pawns forward, because moving pawns forward is, like, when they are all protected by each other, is not necessarily a bad play in pretty much any scenario. I'm just still really trying to, like, be careful. Like, I'm just trying to make sure that I don't, like, create any, like, excessive glaring weaknesses. Like this, if I could take, but I didn't want to risk, like, the queen pulling some tomfoolery and just getting right into that square, right, like, and just completely destroying my back rank. So I decide, in the end, after a lot of just questioning what would be the best move, to go with my original plan that was trying to get a queen trade. And my opponent, like, after taking more time that they cannot afford to take to question what they should do next, they finally decide that the best move in their position, like, given everything that's been going down, is to simply move the rook, which obviously, like, that was a good move, because, but and in the end I just completely take pawn with pawn, and now I'm going to try and force the queen out of the, like, to go backwards, but instead just take the pawn, because, like, obviously, like, the pawn was unprotected at the time. I don't know, like, it wasn't a very well thought out move in hindsight. It has some glaring flaws. But yeah, no, I'm just, at this point, I'm just really trying to, like, you know, to get my king in check for a split second, and in the end, I just use the bishop to block, and obviously, if they take that, like, take the queen, and they are getting really low on time here. Like, they've got almost less than 2 minutes at this point, and all I have to do at this point is keep the position relatively the same until they run out of time. I don't really need to checkmate them anymore. Like, time's on my side. So yeah, no, the queen of course moves backwards, and at this point I'm trying to just kind of play it safe. So I just, you know, I'm making really small, like, moves. I move the rook a little bit, but For the most part, I just need to kind of not do anything and let the clock play out. And so, yeah, no, my opponent is just really getting low on time. Like, at this point, they've basically just got a minute and a half left. So all I have to do is not fumble and just let it make any big mistakes to completely destroy my position. So yeah, no, they're getting to this position, which honestly, like, doesn't do it that much. So I'm just gonna keep on developing my pawns. I'm just gonna keep on moving forward, like doing stuff that has like no real detriment if it doesn't work out. I just need to keep the position stable, like until my opponent's minute and a half of time is just completely gone. So yeah, no, like at this point it's just me kind of really hoping my opponent keeps taking this time thinking, while I just keep on stalling and making 1 second moves. So yeah, no, they moved their like knight to try and take my pawn. I just take with the pawn. I fully expect to be taken back, yes, but it doesn't actually do much. That pawn keeps going forward, but like those pawns are expendable. I just need to have quick moves I can do to keep on dragging out the clock while I have to spend time thinking. So yeah, no, then the knight was taking my. Like, the knight honestly can try and go for some things. Like, it could try and threaten my queen, but honestly, at this point, it's not really that dangerous. Like, I have options. So instead, I choose to threaten their bishop, which obviously is, like, that's a big issue. And I'm just waiting for my opponent's response, because they have, like, a minute and 20 seconds left on the clock. They have been pretty much keeping the same time because of the time settings, but even so, they're using a lot more time than they're getting back. So at this point, they've basically got less than a minute on the clock. And so yeah, no. Now at this point, all I have to do is wait them out. And they're still taking time, even when their time is up. So yeah, no, they just try to move the rook, which doesn't actually do that much yet. I just take the bishop. And their rook obviously can't attack me unless I choke and like take on these pawns, which I have no intention of doing. And so all I have to do now is just hope my opponent keeps taking time thinking, because at this point they have 40 seconds. Yeah, no, like they just move a rook, which again isn't really doing all that much yet. I just keep moving my rook back down, like it's a safe move, doesn't really do much. And now if they try to threaten my queen, then I can just take. So, yeah, no, things are looking good. And by this point, my opponent has 30 seconds left on the clock. Or is that 20 seconds, maybe? Yeah, no, their time is just really ticking down. It's ticking down fast. So, I'm just kind of waiting for them to begin making rush moves, which they begin doing. But I don't really need to keep thinking through at this point. I just need to keep making quick moves and let the time play out. So, like, my opponent's got, like, 20 seconds left, and they're still taking a lot of time thinking on what to do next, which, again, you shouldn't make thoughtless moves in chess, like, because obvious reasons, but at this point, if they don't make a move and make it quick, they're just going to straight up lose. So, I see the time drop below, like, 15 seconds, and, yeah, no, they make a quick pawn move. I just go upwards to threaten their pawns now that they can't really, now that they've moved their rook away. And I'm just waiting, like, for them to make another move, but they time out. They have spent so much time when they did not have it, and, you know, the time was up. I won, and I contemplated doing a rematch, but they just did not. They just ended the game. Like they just, yeah, no. I won in the end. It wasn't exactly the win I wanted, but I will take it. There were a lot of mistakes I made in this game, but it was still a big improvement over the last one. So yeah, no. Thank you guys for just, you know, tuning into this two-parter of me playing chess, and I hope that you guys can just watch me keep on improving as time goes on. So, till then, have a nice day.